Can you tell people about the Domestic Terrorism Prevention Act of 2022 and what it is and why you have some reservations about it?
My worry is that, number one, all of these things are being done incrementally. One major example was the way that the Capitol Police have been sort of expanded into this nationwide terrorist fighting force. But it's been expanded into a couple more states. The Capitol Police, they call the Capitol Police for a reason. They're a law enforcement arm that is meant to only guard the U.S. Capitol. But now they're being expanded. And the worrying thing about that is that they are immune to FOIAs. They can't be FOIA'd.
Which is Freedom of Information Act, just so everyone knows.
Yeah, that's right. So, God knows if we don't know what they're doing, and we potentially can't even really find out because the public is kind of blocked from making them accountable. That was a previous bill, but nonetheless, I think it shows you the way that just bit by bit, these things are kind of intensifying. And, my second worry is that, okay, Buffalo led to this Domestic Terrorism Prevention Act. It wasn't that bad. However, there's going to be more, unfortunately, I hate to say it, but there's going to be more attacks, more tragedies like this, more violence. And the more that this stuff happens, the more pressure there is on politicians to sort of do something. When I say do something, what they'll do is kind of advance this domestic war and terror rather than doing what I was saying, which is to go after the root causes and to limit the amount of guns there are out there. And I'm dismayed by the fact that I understand the political pressures that are on progressive lawmakers. Nobody wants to go on an attack ad. They voted against protecting Americans from white supremacists or something. It's an attack ad waiting to be made. However, at some point, I think they are going to have to take a stand and vote against some of the stuff and try to actually explain, have a conversation with the public, tell them why, why it's dangerous and why it's also ineffective. I hope I made a pretty good case for both of those things in my piece, but I think that's the conversation that some of these progressive lawmakers need to start having with their constituents. Because remember, the United States is a two-party democracy, as flawed as it is, and power changes pretty regularly. It may well change in this coming November, and it may well change in 2024 as well. If Trump or Ron DeSantis wins or whatever other Republican, are people who voted for this stuff really going to be comfortable handing over this kind of war on terror, domestic war on terror infrastructure over to one of these right-wing politicians? I very much doubt it. I mean, remember what happened through 2020 when Trump basically used the DHS as a kind of private army that he was sending against anti-police brutality protesters.